everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this daily morning rise flow. During this class, we're going to work on our strength and flexibility. You don't particularly need any props for this, but as always, if you know you're a bit more flexible, I'll recommend you grabbing some blocks or anything that you can think of to replace it. And when you're ready, just go ahead and meet me on the mat. Alright, so when you guys are ready, we're just going to start on a seated on heels position towards the end of your mat. So when you're here, legs are together. Simply bringing your hands to rest onto your thighs. I'll invite you to close your eyes if you haven't already done so. Making sure that your belly button is up and in, spine straight and long. Shoulders are down and away from your ears. Connecting with your Ujjayi breath, so inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Trying to make every inhalation and exhalation as equal as possible. Bringing your attention inward, taking this time to connect with your body and your breath. Letting go of any expectations that you may have for yourself. Next inhalation, slowly let your hands slide onto your mat, slowly making your way into a tabletop position. When you're here, your shoulders are over your wrists and your hips are stacked over your knees. On your next inhalation, you're going to tuck the back toes, take a big inhale, drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Simultaneously, let your hips glide you back towards your heels. When you make it there, exhale, drawing your chin to your chest, rounding in the back of the heart, rolling forward. Again, inhale, dropping your belly, lifting the gaze, lifting your heart, letting your hips glide you back, rounding in the back of the heart in your exhale to roll forward. Last one here, inhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze, let your hips glide you back. And exhale, rounding forward. Now inhale, drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Press down into the feet and let your hips glide you back into your downward facing dog. When you're here, take a moment. Maybe you need to paddle out the legs. Making sure that you're taking enough space on your mat. Fingers are spread out wide, belly button is up and in. Imagining that your armpits are looking at each other. On your next inhalation, you're going to take a big inhale, round, tucking your chin to your chest, rounding in the back of the heart. Roll forward to high plank. When your shoulders are over your wrists, simply stay here for a second. holding your high plank. And exhale, bring it back to your downward facing dog. We're going to repeat this a couple times. So inhale, taking your chin to your chest, roll forward to your high plank. When you're here, holding your high plank for a moment. And exhale. Make it back to your down dog. Again, inhale, roll forward to your high plank. Take a moment here. Exhale, glide it back. Again, inhale, roll forward, high plank. Try and hold it here. Exhale. Glide it back. Last one here. Inhale. Roll forward to your high plank. Exhale. Glide it back. Now inhale, roll forward to high plank. Hold it here. This is the last one. And on your exhale, shift the weight forward. Chaturanga. So maybe you bend the knees down on the mat. To upward facing dog. Making your way back to your downward facing. When you're here, take a few breaths, settling into the pose. On your next inhalation, take a big inhale, drawing your chin to your chest. Roll forward to high plank, really rounding in the back of the heart. When you make it here, exhale, dropping the belly, lifting the tail, bending the knees as much as you need, letting your hips glide you back. Taking some waves here. Inhale again, roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Let your hips glide you back. Last one, inhale. Roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. When you make it back, let your right leg lift up towards the sky, three-legged dog. When you're here, take a moment, making sure that your hips are squared. Next inhalation, lift your left heel off the mat, bring your right thigh to your chest. Take a moment here. Exhale, drop your foot in between your hands, setting up here for warrior two. Hands are straight by your side. Making sure, trying to keep your knee over your ankle. Belly button is up and in. Inhale, shift the weight forward to reverse the warrior. This is a side bend, not a back bend. Next inhalation, coming into this modified side angle, resting your forearm down onto the midst of your thigh. Maybe looking up at your arm. Next inhalation, sway yourself to the side, slowly setting yourself up here for a wide leg forward fold. So when you're here, making sure heels are pointing out, toes are in, taking the distance that you need. So if you're a bit more inflexible, taking a wider stance. So inhale, maybe bringing your fingertips on some blocks or on the mat. Inhale, straight back, belly button is up and in. Shifting the weight forward, always in forward fold. You're shifting the weight forward towards the tip of your toes. So inhale, shift the weight forward, and exhale. Try and let yourself melt. When you're here, maybe you can go ahead and grab onto your big toes or the back of the heels. Trying to bring the crown of the head down onto the mat. Using your arms to help pull your head down, maybe your forehead. Focusing on your breath here. One more breath wherever you are. Next inhalation, planting your fingertips down or on your blocks, coming back to your straight back. Shifting your weight back, coming and setting yourself up for high lunge. Your arms are up and overhead. Take a full breath. On your next inhalation, planting the hands down onto the mat. Really plant the hands down. Slowly making your way into a three-legged dog. Open hip. Pressing down into your hands. Really pulling with that right leg. Open your hips. Looking up and over that right shoulder. On your next inhalation, slowly let your your left foot slide, yet your back foot dip down, slowly setting yourself up here for a wild thing. So slowly inhale, hips dips down, and exhale, reach up, pressing down into your hand. And exhale, unwind. Planting your hand down, kicking your foot back into that three-legged dog. But this time, simply keeping your hips squared, leg is straight. Next inhalation, left heel is off the mat, bringing your right thigh to your chest. Exhale, foot comes down, back knee comes down. Inhale, arms come up, setting yourself up for a low lunge. Again, maybe you need some blocks by your side here, wherever you are, making sure that your knee is over your ankle, hands are here or overhead on your blocks. They're not here. Next inhalation, planting the hands down, shifting your hips back, straightening your front leg, taking a counter stretch with half split. Front foot is flexed. Inhale, straighten your back. Exhale, try and let your chest and heart melt towards your leg. Keeping your spine straight and long, your hips are squared. Next inhalation, planting the hands down, slowly lift yourself back up, shift your hips forward, coming back into your low lunge. Hands come up, arms come up and overhead. Tucking the back toes, inhale, lift up into your high lunge. Take a big inhale, cactus the arms, sway forward, plant the hands down, step your foot back, coming into your high plank. When you're here, exhale, shifting your hips back to your downward facing dog. When you're here, take a full breath. On your next inhalation, slowly look forward. Try and bring your forearms down on the mat. Kind of setting yourself up for dolphin here. And inhale, lift up, back to your down dog. You're going to do a couple of these. Going a little bit faster now, so when you're ready, exhale, down and up. Down and up. And up, down, up, down. Down, up. Core is engaged here. Focusing on your breath. 2 more. Looking forward or back. 1 more. Back to your down dog. Now take a few breaths here. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, starting with our spinal waves.
So when you guys are ready, take a big inhale, draw your chin into your chest, roll forward to high plank. When shoulders over wrist, exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, let your hips glide you back to your down dog. Head is the last thing to come down. Again, inhale, roll forward, exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Hips glide you back. Last one here. Inhale to roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. When you make it back, let your left leg lift up this time. Three-legged dog. When you're here, making sure that your hips are squared, belly button is up and in. Next inhalation, right heel lifts off the mat, bringing your left thigh to your chest. Take a moment here. Exhale, dropping your foot in between your hands, setting up here for warrior two. So shoulders are down and away from your ears. The back foot is slightly pointing out. Heels are in line. Inhale, shift the weight forward to reverse the warrior. Again, inhale to modified side angle. That forearm rests to the midst of your thigh. On your next inhalation, sway yourself to the side, but this time come standing. Same idea as before, so taking our wide leg fold. So your heels are pointing out, toes are pointing in. This time, you're gonna clasp your fingers together, clasping your hands together. Take a big inhale, pulling your chest and heart forward, so leading with your heart to melt forward. Again, shifting the weight forward. Maybe your arms are going to come down, maybe not. Core is engaged here. Trust your body. Next inhalation, slowly lift yourself back up, pull yourself up, halfway. Bring your fingertips down, coming into your straight back here. And on your next inhalation, sway yourself to the side, coming back into your high lunge. Take a moment here. On your next inhalation, planting the hands down, slowly pressing down onto the ground, kicking yourself back up to three-legged dog, open hip. When you're here, really pressing down into your hands, opening your hip, pulling that top heel towards your bum. Next inhalation, shifting your weight towards your right side, setting up for your wide thing. Inhale, hips dip down. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, planting your hand down. Kick it back. Exhale, three-legged dog. Hips are squared, leg straight. Inhale, right heel lifts up, bringing your left thigh to your chest. Exhale, foot comes down, back heel comes down. Arms come up, setting up for your low lunge here. Maybe you need your blocks by your side again here. Making sure that your knee is over your heel. Wherever you are. Next inhalation, planting the fingertips down on the mat. Shifting your hips back, straighten that front leg. Belly button is up and in, hips are squared. Exhale, melting your chest onto your front thigh. Focusing on your breath here, spine is straight and long. Next inhalation, planting your hands down, shifting your hips forward, coming back into that low lunge. Arms come up, tucking the back toes. Inhale, lift up, high lunge. Take a big inhale, cactus the arms, really puffing the back of the heart. Exhale, sway forward, planting the hands down. Simply step it back to your high plank. When you're here, exhale. Bring it back to your down dog. We're going to do those dolphin to down dog push-ups again. So when you're ready, take a big inhale and exhale. Dolphin, lift up. Following your breath. Down and up. Down and up. Core is engaged. Focusing on your breath. Pressing the floor away. Just a couple more here. Two more. Last one. Lift up. Take a moment here. On your next inhalation, take a big inhale, draw chin to chest, roll forward to your high plank. When shoulders over wrist, exhale, drop the belly, really bend into the knees, letting the knees come down onto the mat. When you're here, making sure maybe that your knees are a little bit closer to the back edge of your mat. Take a big inhale, dropping your belly, lifting the heart, slowly starting to walk your hands forward. Starting by melting the forehead down on the mat here. And then maybe trying to bring your chin, focusing on your breath. Simply letting your chest melt down, maybe bringing your throat and chest. Next inhalation, wherever you are, bringing your hands by your side of your chest. And exhale, bring your bum to your heel. Take a moment to reconnect with your breath here. On your next inhalation, slowly making your way onto your stomach. When you're here, bring your arms by your side. You have the option to maybe cactus the arms or straighten your arms. So start by straightening your arms, and if you want a bit more of a challenge, you can go ahead and try and cactus the arms. We're going to take some side shoulder stretch. So starting towards the right, taking a big inhale and using your left foot, kicking it towards the right side. Here, using your left hand here to maybe help you shift more weight onto the right side. Maybe bringing the bottoms of the feet together. Next inhalation, straighten that right leg if they were together. Slowly coming back to the center. And on your next inhalation, we're going to repeat the same thing, but on the other side. So when you guys are ready, take a big inhale. And exhale, shifting the weight towards your left side this time. Maybe again, bring the feet together. Using that right hand to help you shift a bit more weight on that left side. Next inhalation, straighten that left leg, slowly coming back to center. Take a moment here. On your next inhalation, pressing down into the forearms. Coming into Sphinx pose here, so your legs are still parallel in one line with your hips. Shoulders come up over your elbows, pressing the floor away. Pulling with your heart, pressing down into forearms, engaging your legs, your glutes. Next exhalation, slowly lower down, all the way down. Now we're going to attempt a little bow pose, but we're not going to flip the grip today. So simply inhaling, bending into both legs, flexing in the feet. Go ahead and grab onto your feet or your ankles, whatever feels most comfortable for you. So your feet, your thumbs are pointing down and your pinkies are pointing up towards the sky here. On your next inhalation, you're going to inhale, lifting up first with your chest, kicking with your legs to help you lift up. Pulling the heart up towards the sky. Focusing on your breath here. Next exhalation, slowly lower down. All the way down, arms come by your side. Next inhalation, pressing the hands down the mat. Slowly making your way towards the top of your mat. When you're here, come into a seated position, bringing your legs a little wider than hips distance and trying to sit your bum down onto the mat in between your legs. On your next inhalation, if that's enough for you, if that's already too much of a stretch, again, maybe use some blocks. Come into a seated on blocks position. Or if that's okay, next inhalation, we're going to attempt recline ear pose. So inhale, slowly walking your hands back, making your way onto your forearms. When you're here, making sure that your heart is lifted. Next inhalation, maybe you stay here or maybe you come all the way down. Arms come either by your side or up and overhead. Whatever you prefer. Focusing on your breath here. Next inhalation, slowly coming back up, so planting the forearms back down on the mat. Slowly making your way back into that seated position. When you're here, coming into a fully seated position, you're gonna bring your legs as wide as you can or as wide as your flexibility allows you to today. We're gonna attempt
a wide leg fold or pancake fold here. So on your next inhalation, we're going to take a few little rocks, so pelvic tilts here. So rocking your hips forward and back, kind of popping your booty out of that little motion here. So it's really only in your hips. And on your next inhalation, slowly starting to walk your hands forward, maybe melting your chest down on the mat. Wherever you are, even if you're here, only important part, we're here. Focusing on that little tilt, belly button is up and in, keeping that spine straight. It doesn't matter if your chest is down on the mat or if you're on your hands. Next inhalation, slowly walk your hands back. Gonna inhale, arms come up and overhead. On your exhale, I'm gonna wrap your right hand onto your left hip. Take a big inhale and reach towards your right foot, taking a side bend here. So maybe you'll need a yoga strap or wherever you are to loop it around your foot here. Maybe hold it. Next inhalation, come back to center. Arms come up and overhead. On your next inhalation, left hand this time come onto your right hip. Inhale, reach up, lengthen the spine to bend towards your left side. Feeling a side stretch here. Maybe you're looping your strap around, or maybe you're just seated like this. Whatever you prefer. Next inhalation, coming back to center, both arms come up. Exhale, hands come down, bringing your legs together, maybe giving yourself a little shake from side to side. Now coming into your seated position. On your next inhalation, slowly starting to walk your hands back. We're going to take some shoulder splits, I like to call these. So slowly walk your hands back as far as you can and as you want to today. Maybe you want to stay here. That's with the feet down on the mat, or maybe you want to extend the legs, whatever makes you feel more comfortable here. So slowly, not comparing yourself to others, wherever you are. Whenever you feel a bit of a stretch, just stop there. Don't push yourself too much. Focusing on your breath here. Next inhalation, slowly walk yourself back up, coming back into your seated position. And on your next inhalation, you're going to try and rock yourself back. Hands are behind your back, so palms are down. Try and rock your legs back into flow pose. So when you're here, the belly button is up and in. See here if I'm not engaged. I want to try and stack, this is no good. I want to try and stack my hips on top of my shoulders. So engaging the core, lifting your hips up. So if I'm not engaged, I'm engaged. So you want to engage your core so that you can stack your hips on top of your shoulders. Most of the weight is on top of your shoulders. So when you're here, maybe your hands stay here. Maybe you
Clasp your hands together, like so. Focusing on your breath again. On your next inhalation, again, maybe you stay here. Maybe you try and walk your hands back. So your arms come up and overhead, palms facing up. On your next inhalation, maybe you stay here. If you have a bit more range of flexibility, trying to bend the legs, bringing the shins down on the mat, pressing those legs down on the mat here. Focusing on your breath. Next inhalation, coming back wherever you are. And exhale, slowly release. Trying to keep that thigh to chest connection when you release. And keeping your legs simply straight up. Feet are flexed. On your next inhalation, go ahead and bend into both legs, grabbing onto the outside of both feet. I'm going to take happy baby here. So when you're here, pressing the feet down towards the ground, making sure that those heels are right on top of your knees, maybe taking some movements from side to side. If you have the range of flexibility, maybe try and extend the legs. Pulling those feet down towards the mat so that you keep the spine straight and glued down onto your mat. Next inhalation, slowly bringing those legs back together into your chest, clasping your arms around, maybe taking some rocks again from side to side. And on your next inhalation, slowly extending your legs straight in front of you. You need to readjust yourself like I do. Arms come straight by your side. No. We're going to finish this practice by taking a few breaths in Shavasana. As always, I truly hope that you enjoyed this flow and that you have a wonderful day. Namaste.